Mike, Penn State, unbelievable, up 14-0, two great passing plays against Ohio State to take the lead, 14-0 against the Buckeyes.
It was actually 14-3.
Oh.
But really, Ohio State hit what to me was kind of a lucky play on a 50-yard pass to get the three. So Penn State was dominating the game, is your point.
Yeah,
and
that's my whole point.
Correct.
They're dominating the game. And I was like, this could be a major upset. And we're talking about a different bowl game for these guys. But the second half, I felt like they played not to lose as opposed to win, and you maybe thought there were some breaks that went against them. How would you assess the Ohio State before we look ahead to Indiana?
Well, McGloin said that he felt like they played not to lose in the second half, which is interesting. I didn't particularly think that, but if he said it and you said it, I'm not going to dispute it. A couple of things. Number one, I thought there were two or three plays that really, really turned it. One of what was Penn State on the 20-yard line near the end of the first half, going for it on 4th and 1 instead of kicking a field goal, which would have put them ahead, which would have been like a 37, 38-yard field goal, would have put them ahead 17-3. Tressel himself said, Jim Tressel, Ohio State's coach, said after the game that was the turning point when we stopped them there. It was the turning point in the game.
Wow.
It gave Ohio State something positive going into halftime. And then the other two were this interception where Ohio State kid kind of read a screen pass and picked it off and went for a touchdown. And then the third play was this ridiculous where they tried to throw the long pass. Penn State kids break it up, and it bounces immediately into the hands of this Ohio State kid who just happens to be running by, and he jogs in for a really back-breaking touchdown. I think it's kind of silly to say if you take those three plays away, but I'm going to say it. If you take those three plays away, it really is a pretty close competitive game against what I think is one of the best 6 or 8 teams in the country.
Yeah.
On
their field.
On their field, absolutely. So I really thought the way Penn State played in the first half, I thought it was a net positive for Penn State.
Yeah, I did too. And that play you're talking about halftime, at the time I loved Paterno's moxie. He'd gone for it twice before. They worked. I thought, oh, yeah, keep it up, Joe. But then I started calculating where they were on the field. I thought, why bother?
Yeah.
Get the points. You got a good kicker.
Yeah,
you don't have to get closer for this guy. You're there.
And after the game, and what was disconcerting about it is they called a timeout before that play, and they had to, for a while they had the field goal team on, and then they were really hemming and hawing during the timeout. And when we asked Joe about it after the game, he didn't understand what we were talking about. He thought we were talking about the previous time they went for it when it would have been around a 48-yard field goal. And he was, so that was kind of, oh God, that kind of made you roll your eyes and wonder what's going on. But again, people have to understand. Nobody wants to hear the phrase rebuilding year. Nobody wants to really believe in that phrase in any sport, at any level. It's a real thing, and that's what this is. That's the mode that Penn State is in right now.
I think right now, I didn't expect them to beat Ohio State. I love the showing in the first half. I thought, if they could get this, look at the positives, but there are so many. McGloin did play very well. Silas Redd has been phenomenal back there, and I think it's helped light a fire under Royster a little bit as well. Redd, there is some news or noise coming out of Happy Valley about Redd. What happened over the weekend with him?
He lights fires and then maybe he puts them out because there was a public urination issue this week or the other day with Silas. So we will find out at Joe's press conference today if there's anything to that, if there's any significance to it, if he's going to be cited or miss any time or anything like that. And I know that Joe will be delighted just to have the opportunity to talk about it.
And all I can say about that is, what boy at Penn State hasn't public urinated?
Absolutely.
I'm sorry. It's a rite of passage in Happy Valley.
Thank you.
During the
Hands
overnights.
raising all over the studio.
Man, there's worse things this boy can do. I hope he doesn't miss any playing time over that.
There you go.
They got
Indiana
blowout by
gave
Wisconsin.
up 83 points on Saturday and is reeling a little bit. Their quarterback is hurt. They had their weekly media thing yesterday, and they didn't allow any of the players to talk, including the quarterback. So I guess they're really kind of in first aid mode for the psyche as well as the physical side of their team. Certainly it's a game that Penn State should win. It's a game that's being played at the Redskins field because the Redskins gave Indiana University $3 million to bring it there, which is goofy. But $3 million is $3 million.
Which could actually be positive for Penn State for recruiting. They've got a lot of recruits. They own Maryland.
Well, it certainly can't hurt.
It should be good for Penn State in every regard. And you can play a lot of players. The following week is Michigan State at home, and that should be good if you can win that game. Again, a better bowl. But the bottom line is it's 15 extra practices. They're going to go to a bowl this year, and that's a positive for a rebuilding year.
No question.